Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube review of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 1. I'm trying something a little bit different here because Zam and Vance got to do their review yesterday of Star Trek Discovery. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do my 10 takeaways from Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 1. First off, I just want to say that this last season, season three, was a major turnaround in the show for me. The first two seasons really dragged, but it's been slightly improving from season one to season two. Season three was a major upgrade, and I have to say that after what just with the initial reaction, so this could change with the initial reaction and all this other stuff. I'm very excited for this season. I loved where they were going with it last season, and now this season it looks like they're heading in the right direction. I know that there's going to be some galactic catastrophe that's going to destroy everything that only probably Our Lady over here, Michael Burnham, can fix, and that is one of the problems with the show. However, I am there's a lot of things that I've seen last season, and even more things that I've seen in this first episode that I really feel like are really doing the show justice and turning things around. So we're gonna get right into it. My top 10, well, my 10 takeaways from Discovery, season 1, episode 4. Season 4, episode 1. Wow, I'm really messing up here. So my first takeaway, and a lot of this is in order because I just took notes while I was watching the episode. Uh, Peaceful negotiations. It was really fun to see us start off on the butterfly planet, as they and I am calling it. They were trying to deliver dilithium, which is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them visiting Federation planets, in old Federation planets, trying to make peace, try to bring them back to the Federation, and we got that here. That's how we opened it. I thought it was a little odd that the captain and Book went down there. I know she brought him because she wanted him to try to connect on an empathic level or entropy level or whatever it's called, but he's like, I don't know if they want to connect. So this was fun. I mean, I've never seen this race. It might be a deep cut from an episode or from the animated series because it seems like a lot of the deep cuts come from the animated series. And guess who hasn't watched the animated series yet? This guy right here. I really need to get to that. I really am slacking on that. So negotiations break down. They're talking about their domesticated life form on their ship, which is uh, Grudge, and she's a queen. And so the race thinks that they're holding a queen hostage. So they try to liberate the queen. It was silly, but I didn't mind it. Like I was kind of like, really, like that's the route you're going. But so through a bunch of shenanigans and pew pews and everything like that, Discovery puts the butterflies and everything are having issues with their navigation because their magnetic fields are all messed up. So they have a bunch of satellites in orbit. So they put dilithium in some of these satellites, which reactivate them, and then basically helps them. The butterflies get their magnetic field in place, and so Burnham and Book go back to the surface or back to the ship, get a call from the Emperor. I think it's the Emperor, and um, basically, they basically say, "Why would you help us, even though we shot at you?" And she said, "Well, because we're the Federation, and that's what we do. If you ever need anything, let us know. No strings attached." And I kind of like that. I mean, it's a little corny, but I like that. No strings attached. Like it tracks because that's what the Federation is. They help with no strings attached. So when then we go to for my number two takeaway is we go back to Saruma and Kaminar, which was a very interesting development. Again, we get to see more of the Federation planets and where they're at 900 years later. Um, so that was very interesting seeing Saru and Kaminar talking with the council. I don't believe we got any of Kaminar. We got a lot of Kaminar in season 2. We did not get a lot in season 3 that I remember. So this was great to see how the race has developed over the past 900 years. They have a council that meets and they work together. So this was actually really good. It was really fun to see. They had like an underwater council ring and stuff like that, and some of them aren't convinced that the burn is not going to happen again because of the kid from last season. And Saru says, "Look, science has proved that the burn's not going to happen again. He's away from the dilithium planet." It was a lot of fun. Um, and so it's just kind of politics and negotiations, which is good. It's good for Star Trek. I like it. It had that. It wasn't like pew pew tension, but there was definitely that political tension there that you're kind of like, ooh, like what are they going to do? Are they going to kick them off the planet? Are they going to, whatever, depending on which extreme you want to go. So we go back to Discovery, and they're about to do the inauguration, not inauguration, but the restart of Starfleet Academy for the first time since the burn. Michael had this reverend looking, I'm guessing it's a dress uniform on. It's like a dark leather, and it has like the white thing across it, and it seemed like a reverend, you know, cloak or something. But it was probably a dress uniform. So Michael Burnham gives the speech for the initiation of Starfleet Academy, and there's probably 2 dozen cadets standing there, which is good because I would be really skeptical if it was just this room full of people. Like no, it's like 2 dozen people standing in this shuttle bay ish looking thing. And so this is she's basically given a speech about this is the first time Starfleet Academy is accepting cadets since the burn. The Federation has already in 5 months gone from 38 member worlds to 59 member worlds, which would be awesome to see which ones are joining. I really do want them to tell us who the members of the Federation are right now. Obviously, I believe the Vulcans are. I think the Trill are as well. They rejoined. Don't know about the Andorians. Obviously, I think the Cardassians are already in it because obviously the president. We'll get to that in a minute. But it would just be nice to get a list of how many, even if they just have it on a screen and we can pause it and zoom. We can pause it and zoom in and see them all. That would answer our question. Like we don't have to. They don't have to like sit there and go, well, the member worlds are. But yeah, so a very good speech. So then they introduced the new United Federation of Planet president, which Rillick, who is half Bajoran, half Cardassian. Interesting, but over 900 years. Well, technically, 600 years. I think it would be 600 years at this point. After 600 years, things have changed between Cardassians, Bajorans, and that whole probably quadrant of space. So that was very interesting, but she obviously, just like a Cardassian, commands presence, and as Kira Nerys probably, or not probably, as she did, is very stoic, in my opinion. I think this is whoever, I don't know who this lady is who plays the president, but she does a very good job. And so she brings the Archer space stock, which is my number 5 thing. I don't know if I mentioned. Okay, no. So number 4 was Starfleet Academy restarting. Is my takeaway. Number 5 is going to be the Archer space stock, and yeah, we saw what you did there. You put the Enterprise theme when it was kind of lighting up and everything like that. Nice nod. I am a fan of Enterprise. Sorry, I know not a lot of people liked it, but whatever. Um, Anyway, so I guess this is a new space dock that's going to help upgrade a lot of their current ships to, because a lot of these ships just couldn't get to Starfleet Command, in order to, do they couldn't get to Starfleet Command to do upgrades and stuff. So now that there's actually warp travel involved, they're actually going to get there and get all the proper upgrades and everything that they need. So yeah, so that kind of wraps it up there at Starfleet Command. I, they've already dropped book off. The president's talking with the crew, saying how much they sacrificed, coming 900 years in the future. What they left behind, yada yada. Okay. We find out that Tilly gets a promotion to lieutenant. Thank God somebody's making promotions. You have all of I don't want people need to be promoted. Like there's this crazy thing in Star Trek where it's like people go through whole shows without getting barely any promotions. I know Worf's been promoted. Geordi had been promoted like off screen. Tom Paris had been demoted and then promoted. But you've just got like Cisco was promoted, but you got 7 year runs of some of these shows, and nobody like not the percentage of people has to be like 1 or 2% of the characters actually get promoted. Um, I mean, I think Riker was promoted to captain twice, and then he went back to being a commander. It makes no sense. So I'm glad that Tilly got her promotion to lieutenant. And that's what I want to see. I want to see professional development with these characters in the show, because let's be real, Starfleet is not just it's a professional organization. People want to advance. People are hungry to advance. It's like a career. It is literally their career. So we want to see them progress and advance. Tilly technically should have gone up to lieutenant junior grade, but her being, I think she's still first officer. So lieutenant's fine. I'm not. I mean, if she jumped to commander, I would be like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. But she got double promoted, just like they did talked about lower deck. She got some corn on her pip. So okay, all right. Well, I'm not gonna fuss on it. I'm glad Tilly got a promotion. I really like her as first officer. I just felt like she's too young and under ranked for that. But okay, whatever. We're moving on. I can harp on this all day, and the bottom line is I like Tilly. I like her as first officer. That just bugs me. So the president now is saying that they get a distress call from a space station, and I didn't write down the name, but it's like a repair station. I don't remember, deep space repair alpha beta, something like that. And so of course they say, look, the other the Omicron system is, it'll take too long for a ship from Omicron to warp to them to see what's going on. So we're gonna dispatch Discovery immediately. So what happens is, Burnham's on board, they're ready to go, and then the president says, "Well, I'm coming with you." What? United Federation of Planets president is going on the Discovery on this mission. Burnham has a problem with this because she don't like no sassy presidents on her ship. Um, so she basically says, "Look, I'm going, whether you like it or not," and walks off. And Burnham, I love the look on Burnham's face. It's just like that twitch where it's like she's like, "I just I want to rebel," and she can't because she just got this captaincy and she can't lose it. I mean, she can, but so it was really funny to watch that happen where Burnham was just like, "What?" Um, Another thing that I really enjoyed about this scene, and I know I'm kind of harping on this scene, but we're kind of in between right now. The takeaways is about Admiral Vance's family being there, because they talked last season about his family not being able to be there and he hadn't seen them in a while. Now that they have warp travel back, his family's able to actually be with him, and that's great. Just the actor who plays Admiral Vance did a very good job at conveying the happiness that he felt, even if it was an act. He did a very good job at conveying how happy he was that his family was there. I believed it. Like, I believed that was what was going on here, and I really commend the actor for that. I know he's done a lot of stuff, but I commend him for that. Okay, so moving on to our seventh takeaway, which is the topsy turvy station. So they get there, and this huge freaking station is just delisting and spinning out of control towards it, and just towards them, and it makes sense because if there's we always have this thought of like a space station's like it weighs so much, but if it's in deep space and there's no gravity holding it there, if something were to knock it hard enough, it would give it enough inertia, it would just keep going and going and going and going. I thought it was kind of spinning, like doing like a toilet bowl thing towards an anomaly or something, but no, it just was flying. So what they do is they finally hail the station. Um, they look at they look at the distress signal. They say that there's extensive lensing, which was a gravimetric distortion. They finally get a hold of the station. The chief engineer there says that it basically, one of his people said that it's a shit Earth phrase shit show. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of things are a shit show. So, and then we get a Lieutenant Tilly and Ensign Tall away mission. Yay! For other characters getting more time. Now, granted, we will get into the Michael Burnham show here in a little bit, but I'm very happy that Tall and Tilly are getting the forefront here of this away mission. So they beam over, and so they're trying to help fix things, do things, everything like that, and then the gravimetric stresses and stuff like that get to be too much. Then they start getting into a ion storm. I think it's either an ion storm or an ice. I can't remember, but it was like just asteroids were just flying at them. So Discovery expands their shields around the station while they're trying. They do slow down the spin and everything like that because they get the station thrusters on, but they're still moving and still whatever. So they're on the edge of some kind of ion storm or something with a lot of asteroids. So they expand the shields around the station, and they're trying to get, they're trying to figure out because there's so much interference that they can't beam off. They just can't beep beep and off like they normally do. So, also there was a nice little point between the helmsman and ops where, they have a little bit of a professional competition going on, where I can't remember her name, the black lady, really good. I love them both up there, and I can't even remember the other one's name. That's the Discovery. I always have a problem remembering their names. I think her name's Kayla, is the navigator, and then the ops is. But basically, she says that if Kayla can get us, if Kayla can match rotation and and everything like that, then I can get us over there. It's just like, whew. And then the way those two bounce off each other is just, I love it. I love it. I don't necessarily want them to be in a relationship, but it looks like that's where they might be leaning. And I'm not against it. I'm just kind of like, I like the professional like competitiveness. It doesn't need to be flirty, but it's like a little bit flirty where it's like, like it's fun. Um, so, and maybe no one else got that vibe. Maybe it was just me, but I could see them going that way with that, um, just with the way that they build things up like that. One of the little side notes in regards to this whole thing is Morn's race, and I can never remember the name of his race. Alarian, maybe, I don't know. I can look it up. Um, Lorian. I was close. But anyway, so you see one of them in the background there, and that's just a lot of fun. It's a great nod. I like it. Like to see one of them talk because we never saw Morn talk. Really, I mean, they always say he was a chatterbox, but he never talked on screen. He was just very camera shy. Anyway, so now we have the Michael Burnham show, where now the only person who can save the crew on the station is Michael Burnham. She's the only person who has logged enough flight test time and the flight thingy fun whatever. Okay, and even the president, which I really really liked, even the president questioned, and this is my eighth takeaway. Even the president questioned. She's like, "Do you really do you have to be the one who goes? Like really? I feel like the president's gonna be like my vessel into this show." She's like, "Do you really have to go though? Like, does it have to be you? You're a captain. I mean, shouldn't you captain?" So anyway, she goes. She does the rescue. Her pod gets messed up. She gets in the spacesuit. She jumps out. Um, she goes, she gets the debris. They launch the escape pod. They program it to go back, but they can't fit everybody in. So, the ship goes and takes most of the crew except for Tall, Tilly, and the main engineer, the one that was kind of leading things. That goes back to, except for them, that goes back to Discovery. Burnham and of course the president are kind of butting heads a little bit, where it's like, oh, did you? So she, because the president talked down that guy because he was trying to take them into an area where there was no oxygen, to go to a different pod or something like that, and the president talks him down by telling him about visiting his homeworld and stuff. And Burnham's like, "Have you ever really been there, or are you just reading his file?" And she's like, "Does it really matter?" And I mean, president has a point. I mean, is she lying? Maybe, probably. She's a politician, but does it matter? Not really. Anyway, um, so with all that being said, then the shuttle goes out, and the shuttle comes back, and then and then the three of them get on the ship, and then it kind of floors it all the way to the Discovery. At the very last second, there's their shields fall, and the shuttle, the evacuation shuttle thing from the station gets in there. They get hit in the back, and then they spore drive out. Whew, high octane action. Um, Unfortunately, the lead engineering scientist guy died in the crash. Tilly and Tull were fine. Culber was there to check them. He made his appearance, and in his nice snazzy white uniform. I kind of like the fact that the doctors have the white uniforms instead of just the blue like they do in like Next Gen and everything. It just gives them a different. I mean, science and medical are different, and I know in DS9 they made one teal and one like a darker blue, but I feel like doing the white for the medical and then the blue for the sciences really makes more sense to me. Honestly, if they did a different color for security, also, I probably wouldn't be that upset if they did like a dark green or, you can advance the uniforms. I understand there's like the three colors, but now you've added white. You might as well piss everybody off and change it again. Okay, so after all of this is said and done, there was a conversation between the Burn kid from last season and Saru, where basically he says, "Look, you don't have to stay here anymore. I know you're thinking about Discovery. Go be with them. I'm okay here. I have friends." And it was nice to see. Like he's just like he's looking out for Saru, and he knows Saru wants to be out with Discovery. So I'm hoping that we'll see Saru on Discovery, and I'm positive we will. But it's just nice to. I mean, I'm glad we got to see Kaminar. I'd like to see a little bit more of it before he heads off. But I'm glad to see that they're doing what they're doing here. Is like, look, we know people want Saru on Discovery. Um, right now with Burnham as captain, I'm giving her a chance. She did really well in this episode, sharing the wealth of the screen for the most part. Everybody else got their time to shine. I actually remember the Asian guy's name is Reese. I don't know his rank. I think it's Lieutenant Reese. Or maybe Lieutenant Commander Reese. I was like, I can actually remember a guy's name. Now I just got to get Kayla and the other girl's name down. There's another blonde on the bridge that I'm trying to get down, and I know I could probably look it all up, but that's cheating. I want to learn these characters and I want to know them. I don't want to have to look up their names. Anyway, so after all that was said and done, we had a discussion in the captain's ready room with Michael and the president, and basically the president, Burnham had thought that the president was, ticking off a box, basically saying, "Oh, I've seen the heat of battle." Really, she wasn't. She just wanted to see Burnham in action. And apparently, there is a next gen transportation vessel that they're going to be trying to install a next generation spore drive slash pathway prototype, I think is what she said. It's going to be on the Voyager. Huh, what a fitting name. Maybe I could throw in the Delta Quadrant again. So, but they're putting it on Voyager, and Burnham was on the short list of captains that she was considering. Which Burnham said, "I wouldn't even accept it anyway. Discovery's my home." I mean, she just became a captain there, like, whatever. So the one of the things that the president brought up is that, look, you can't save everybody. You can't. That's what and they bring up the Kobayashi Maru. Nice Trek dig right there. Always love that. I always use that as a Kobayashi Maru, the no-win scenario, and people look at me like, "What are you talking about, Kobayashi Maru?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Kobayashi Maru." Like I think everybody should know what that is, but I'm dumb like that. But yeah, so she uses that as an argument point. And this episode's name is Kobayashi Maru, um, although it's not very fitting because obviously they did win, although they did lose the lead scientist. But I think they actually lost 3 people. They said, and then 9 are injured or something like, or 7 injured, 3 dead, and then 9 were gonna be able to, and 9 survived. I think is what they said. But she was using the Kobayashi Maru as a point, basically saying, look, you can't save everybody. You have to make command decisions, and you basically have to be able to live with the fact that you are making those decisions, and you have to live with those ramifications. She doesn't think Michael Burnham can do that yet, and I agree. I feel like Burnham has gotten so lucky for so long that doesn't have that. She doesn't have that experience that basically says you can't save everybody. And she's like, well, we've saved everybody before. Well, I mean, I am with my experiences, and she's very arrogant in saying this, and not an arrogant in his way as like an asshole, but arrogant as in like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I'm prepared for any captaincy. But are you? And the president brings up a good point. I'm not gonna lie. I like this, and I actually like that the president is kind of a figurehead in the season. I hope that she's not just in this episode and then we don't see her for a while. I don't want her on the Discovery all the time, but I want to see her fairly often because I really feel like the president is a character that, except in Star Trek, I think 4 and 6, the Voyage Home and the Undiscovered Country, you don't see a lot of. And I really feel like that's a shame because maybe if, we show what a real president should be like, maybe we'd actually get one. And I'm not talking about current, I'm talking about all. I'm not getting political. All presidents. Okay, so we get to the very end of the episode. We get to the end of the episode, the climax. My 10th takeaway is I want to say Kazan, but it's Quayshan, I believe. The planet of Quayshan gets hit during the episode. They're doing stuff on Book's planet, and something happens, and all these birds are dying and falling, and Book goes into the atmosphere to see what's going on, and all of a sudden you see the lensing again, but it's like planet sized, and it just destroys this planet or moon, and then Book's ship gets hit and then blacks out. And then Book's ship, all of a sudden, now at this point of the episode, at the end of the Burnham and the president's conversation, shows up, and they're like, something's wrong. So then Book in the next scene is surprisingly well, even though they said it got there on autopilot and something's wrong. And he basically says, I don't know what's going on, something's wrong, blah, 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 blah. They go to the coordinates, and there's nothing there. So, we might have an Alderaan situation here. And they say, no, that can't be. It can't just not be there. And then they zoom and enhance later, or further out, they expand their parameters, and they go out further, and they say, oh, there's something out there. And then they look at it, and it's a completely obliterated planet. And the last part of the episode is just Book standing there in awe, Burnham standing there just totally beside herself, the president mortified as well, and they're just like, in Book's just like, they're gone. They're all gone. And it cuts. Very good way to end the episode. I hope this is, I mean, I get it. They're going to have some kind of galactic problem that they have to figure out, but I'm really excited for this first season, this first episode, and I'm really excited where they're going. I want to see more of the Federation. I want to see more member worlds. I want to see more of what they put in this episode. I want to see more of the expanding on the crew. I want to see bottle episodes with other crew members besides Burnham. Give Burnham the week off. Just have an away mission. Ooh, have a Ryza episode. What does Ryza look like in the 32nd century or 31st century? That would be interesting. But yeah, so I'm really excited for what's going on. I really like the direction they're going this season. And can I just say, these uniforms, I really, really like them. I can't, like last season at the end when you had like the gray and then like the thing going down, I was like, all the gray and then just the color going down. I was like, ugh, that's kind of bad. These, like the one that you see right here, like those uniforms with the black and then like the bright brilliant color, I love it. I love it. The blue, the white, the yellow, and the red, I love it all. The only thing I noticed is that Burnham's the only one wearing red on that bridge. Like, it's really weird. And I know Saru, I think, wears red when he comes back, but it's like, there's either yellow, blue. There's a lot of blue, decent amount of yellow, a lot of blue than what we're used to. Because normally blue's not as predominant. It's normally red and yellow, and then the blue is kind of like there's a couple. Now it's like blue and yellow, and then it's like there's like one or two red that you see. So I do also like the fact that the station staff all wore the gray, and then with the yellow stripe. It's kind of like what they did with Deep Space Nine and Next Gen. You know, like station staff all wore like the one with the shoulder pads colored, and then black the rest of the uniform. Whereas on starships it was more, you know, the breast and everything up here uh, was colored, and then they had the black pants with the kind of the cut up and everything like that. So I do like the fact that they're doing distinguishing between like station staff and I know they're just reusing the uniforms because they made them, and even though they suck, I'm okay with them using them in that capacity. I just did not want to see that on my screen for all the main characters. I like what they're doing with. I like these uniforms that they have. I'm not gonna lie, very very nice, very very snazzy, and yeah, those red uniforms. I want to see more of them. I mean, not there's anything wrong with burn them, but like I just there's so many, so many yellow and blue. Anyway, those are my 10 takeaways from Discovery Season 4, Episode 1. Did I miss anything? I'm pretty sure I did, but if you, or, you know, let me know what your top 10 takeaways are from this episode down in the comments below. Please don't forget to give us a like, and if you haven't yet already, please give us a subscribe. We are NerdTube, the greatest channel you maybe kind of might have heard of. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.